Hello, today we're talking about resilience. We're talking about bouncing back. And I think that one of the least rated strengths is the ability to try again. The desire and the ability to make an attempt again, to bounce back, to try again, to show up again, particularly and perhaps where we failed, it's probably one of the most underrated skills and attributes that successful people have. I find that, what most athletes, for example, do is called rehearsals. They practice and practice and practice. But sometimes, if you pay attention to their practice sessions, they don't always get it right 100% of the time. But they don't give up. They show up again. They try again. I think that one of the gifts I'm blessed with and I have cultivated and nurtured and continue to steward is the ability to bounce back, to show up again, to try again, to be willing to be humble enough to show up where I fell and make an attempt to correct things. It's really important because you don't know what you'd be losing if you walked away from every situation that challenged you to the point of breaking you or to the point where you were scored as to have failed. I remember that when I was in, primary school, secondary school, even in university, sometimes people bought results, right? Sometimes people cheated and found ways to take more efficient routes. But I kind of always felt that if I took the more efficient route, when the real life situation that I was preparing for by going to school or by going through whatever the process was really came to test me, I was going to fail because I didn't have it in the first place. And so I was more, I guess, afraid of being found out to be a fraud. And so I was willing to keep trying honestly to get honest grades and to work hard to make the best of my life. I know that it's not always easy. I've had to show up, like I referenced in another episode that if you haven't listened to, you should. Even show up at places where I'd been wrongly scored and show up again and be willing to prove, that I'm able to do better. I have the capacity to score better. I think that many times we are very defeated in our minds when we failed or when we're not well scored. But I want to encourage us to take it as a challenge to see if we truly are capable of doing better. And you'll be pleasantly surprised every time you try again by discovering that you can do better. I also want to encourage us to say that sometimes what is required for doing better is going back to the drawing board and perhaps getting counsel. Sometimes it is actually shutting out the voices that you listened to the first time against better judgment and listening to a clearer voice, a more experienced voice, a voice that is qualified truly to give counsel and go again and see success be your reward. The truth of the matter is that when we talk about consequences, we must also remember that on the other side of a consequence is a reward, and rewards are always worth it. Until next time, I encourage you to practice paying close attention to how you feel when you haven't done as well as you felt like you could. And as many times as you possibly can, make an attempt to try again. Be resilient in your relationship with yourself. Be resilient when it comes to your approach towards opportunities. And be resilient in your relationships with others. Finally, don't give up on God because He won't give up on you. He's working everything out together, the consequences and the rewards for your good. Until next time, I remain your host,